Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our episode 2 for Uniquely Me Roundtable. I am Planisha, and I also have Bola with me here today again, and we're going to be discussing a very sensitive topic regarding our youth on today. All right. Hope you guys enjoy. Welcome back, everyone. I have Bola here with me today. Bola, go ahead and introduce yourself again for the new people.
Hi, I'm Bola today.
Hi, we're going to be discussing our topic today is very sensitive. It's regarding our youth. And when we say youth or young people, we're talking about ages 13 to maybe 24, 21. So at the end of the day, they're still our babies. So we're going to be discussing youth and violence, which is a very, very, very sensitive topic.
It is.
So have you got to? Did you get a chance to watch the last show?
A little.
A little bit. It's hard to watch yourself.
Oh, very, very.
Those of you guys who are watching, if you have not already, I want you to go to Uniquely Me on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. You guys can watch the short videos. We'll be able to post all of our episodes. You can like, you can share, comment, give us your feedback, please. I would love to hear feedback so that we will know what you guys are actually wanting, or maybe you have comments regarding that. Maybe you would like to join us in regards to the topic that we discussed. So we'll probably do a live once we have some type of availability, and you guys can jump in on that conversation as well. All right.
Yes.
So, all right. So today, again, like I said, we are discussing youth and violence. I was reading. Well, first and foremost, we work in a correctional facility. I want to ask you a question though. Since we work in the corrections, what is the youngest inmate that you had to encounter yourself?
15 years old.
15 years
15
old.
years old. It really broke my heart.
Wow. What unit are? Don't you don't have to mention the unit, but you know.
It's here in Houston, Beaumont area though. But
Oh my.
it really broke my heart. I saw him and I was like, how old are you? And when he told me, I was like, what? Like, no, you should be in school.
Wow.
That's another place for you.
Did he tell you what he was charged with? Obviously, to be in corrections, he had to have been tried as an adult.
Yes.
To actually have time.
Yeah. I didn't get to ask him what he did because
it probably would have made you cry.
No.
Can you imagine? Imagine being again, we're in the correctional industry. Imagine being there and we have our own children. We have our calling regarding the youth, and you get there and you face a child. It's like you're looking at your own child in the eyes.
That's a baby.
I'm telling you, I've never had 15.
Oh.
The youngest I've had is 18.
Oh, wow.
But no, I'm sorry, 17. And let's talk about that because the 17-year-old child, because of the position that I have, he was actually there because he killed his parents.
Oh.
All right. I was probably 4 years into the system when I encountered this little boy, and he was in protective custody. I had him away from everyone, and he was in there because he killed his parents. Oof, that's deep. Like, how does it get that bad to where you literally kill your parents? I've watched so many stories. So much stuff happened on the news. I mean, how many of y'all can really vouch to that? Some people don't even watch the news anymore because it's so depressing, but the news puts it out there. It's their job to keep us informed. But it's so much crime if y'all actually pay attention. I don't think the news gets to even cover all the stories. There's so much going on.
Because if they try to put all that out there, it's scary.
It's scary and it's time consuming to try to cover every story.
No,
I'm telling you. So mine was 17, and he was in protective custody at the time. Um, I was not a supervisor at the time. I was a correctional officer. So, but I had the access to escort them, send them out, and stuff like that. So it was really kind of heartbreaking. We actually, I don't know how long you've been here, but in 2006, it was a big story in Spring, Texas. I'm gonna say 2006, 2007. It was a big story in Spring, Texas, where dealing with young people, these two teenage boys, apparently they were like Nazi or something. One was 17, one was 18. Well, they assaulted a little boy who was 15. It was a Hispanic boy because it was a party going on in Spring, Texas. And apparently the Hispanic boy kissed a 14-year-old white girl at the party. So they were angry about it. Now, how the details came up as far as how they found out, I'm not sure. But they were so hateful about it that they pulled him out. Yeah, pulled him out eventually, drug him, beat him really bad. They poured bleach over him, and they broke an umbrella stick off of the tables. The tables that has the umbrella, and they actually sodomized him.
Oh my God.
They kicked it constantly, continuously. They beat him.
That is like, to me, it's like, what were they thinking?
How much hate?
How did they come up with all this hatred, like all this in their mind for them to be able to like actually carry it out?
Yeah, and I'm never gonna forget that. The funny thing is, I was not in corrections yet when the crime happened, but the facility that I went to work at for the very first time, I started in 2007. Guess who was there?
They were there.
One was there. One was there in protective custody. Both of the little boys got a life sentence. The 18-year-old boy apparently was the ringleader. Both of them got a life sentence. One was life without parole. If I'm not mistaken, he's like at the death row unit, or he was. He started there. It's been so many years. I don't know where he is now in his case because they appeal their cases and stuff. The other little boy that I encountered, I actually had to escort this little boy. And I was like, what? When I had the name, I had to check his ID to give it to medical. We were escorting him. He was 17 years old, getting ready to turn 18. Well, this was the little boy that actually initiated it.
Oh.
I'm never going to forget that. He was just so puny and so small.
That is so sad.
And I was just like, my God, how much hate could it really, really be? So let's talk about what happened to the victim. The victim was hospitalized for a while, for some months. His parents were really, really traumatized. Like they were, I mean.
Because these are just kids.
And so you have to deal with the hate that you have or anger for someone hurting your child, number one. And who knows what happened? Who knows? The mother could have had an instinct and not even wanted him there. So they decided to go on a family cruise. It was on the news. They went on a family cruise. And, well, the news updated us that the little boy got out of the hospital and he was in recovery physically. But let's talk about the mental.
Yeah.
So he got out the hospital, but nobody, I'm not going to say they didn't know, but the news found out when they went on a cruise.
He jumped off.
He jumped off the ship. He was 16 years old. He committed suicide and jumped off.
Probably he couldn't
live with it. He couldn't bear the shame. He couldn't live with the torture. There's no telling what they were yelling out to him. There's no telling what stuck with him, but they beat him really, really bad. Until this day, I remember the story, but I've never, to this day, researched it. I never looked it up. So I wanted to kind of open up with that to talk about why it is so important for us to engage in our youth. Bola, you said something that was very, very crucial the last interview. You said we had to invest
Oh yes.
in our children. So expand on that for me.
Okay, so like I said, to me, like these young ones, they too they have many things going on in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
They have the school. We don't know what's going on in the school.
Yeah.
They have the bullies and maybe the teachers,
Mm-hmm.
because some of the teachers in school are bullies as well.
Are bullies and don't know how to conduct themselves.
And when
So
these
true.
young girls come to them, instead of them to be the teacher they're supposed to be, it's like the way they will turn the children around or say some things to them, it affects these youth as well.
Yeah.
So that's something like we have to invest in our children, take the time out to find out what is going on in their life,
Right.
who their friends are, where they're going, what they're doing.
That's right.
Because we can't just get too busy with our own lives thinking the young ones, they have no problems, they have no issues.
Absolutely.
They have stress.
Absolutely.
Some of them go into depressions and so many things.
Yeah.
Into drugs.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's why all these things they
Yes.
bottle it up in their mind, and before you know it, when the adverse comes out, it's no one can contain it.
It's nothing else to contain. It's too late. And that's in some situations. You also have some situations where the kids are exposed to each other. They're confiding in each other, number one. So us as adults, we understand, I'm going to say from the spiritual aspect. So we always talk about watch the energy you keep around you. We understand that in depth, right? It doesn't mean you can't engage with certain people. It just means that you have to watch your door of access. Right. The children, they perceive it different because social media is putting it out there and trying to interpret the actual meaning, and they're actually very influential on trying to tell the children what it really, really means. So, with that being said, you have some children that actually go through the depression because of the broken homes. We talk about the broken homes. We talk about, and when we say broken homes, when I say broken homes, it's not just the divorced homes and not just the single parent homes. A broken home is a home of abuse, anything dealing with trauma, anything that's abusive. Say the parents are always yelling to each other. The children don't always want to hear that. Then sometimes they get used to it and they be like, oh, it's just normal. So say the parent and the other child are always arguing and the younger child are dealing with that. I've dealt with that personally. Let me be a little transparent. I've dealt with that. When I reached your first child is really your guinea pig child. You made you a parent. You've never been a parent before. You've never experienced this before. I mean, you saw it. Yeah, you saw your little brother grow up at that point, but that every living individual is completely different.
That's right.
Different. Their response is different. Just because one did it like that does not mean you, right? So I'm gonna be transparent. For me, it actually had an effect on my youngest child when me and my oldest one were not getting along very well. And it got so much to where I felt like she was just trying me and trying me and trying me. But not only that, remember I told you my kids got a bond and they were together. They've always been together. I've raised them to say we're all we got. And it doesn't mean that we don't have a support system. I'm just saying at the end of the day, you girls need to stick together.
That's right.
When one is wrong, y'all need to hold the other one up, hold each other accountable. So, with that being said, the youngest one was dealing with the venting of everything.
And you not knowing that others are happening.
And so she was trying to be the mediator, knowing she's too young. And I would say something like, why are you worried about that? That's not your business. Well, first of all, let me tell you this, because you're not going to try me or da-da-da-da-da. So she's hearing it. And all she sees is just division. So it's being broken. You see?
And instead of her to come to you, she would go to her sister.
They were going to each other. They still do it to this day. But you know what? I guess because as a parent, as a woman, I had to watch the way that I respond. Because not only am I raising children, I'm raising young women.
That's right.
You see, so it's certain things that they're exposed to now that I wish they were exposed to when they were younger. It's certain things, so me, sometimes we get tunnel vision. And I said it the last time, as a parent, we get tunnel vision and so focused on the way we see it that we forget we're in a tunnel. We forget we got to step back.
That's right.
So we can see the bigger picture.
That's right.
Sometimes you have to sit down with your children. I've done it, but I can't, like I said, it's a consistent thing. It's a thing of consistency. These are not things that I was shown because I was raised in the house with both of my parents.
That's right.
I was a daddy's girl to the core. I spoiled my own mom, but I was the baby. It was whatever. I mean, we got on her nerve. I'm not going to lie. I have an older brother, y'all, and I learned the word meddle. Old people say meddling. Why are you meddling? If it was anybody picking, and he's still like that to this day, my brother will sit there.
He gets it.
He will. So he was the class clown of the bunch.
So make sure everything.
I'm telling you.
Chill out. Come on.
So it was hard not to laugh, so my home was different. We had 3 of us, I wasn't really a talker. So I was really, I don't know. I wasn't to myself, but I wasn't the talker. So for them, it's different. So, like I said, I was being transparent with that. It causes an effect on your children when it's actually a broken home. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, to me, like when we do those things to us, we don't know that we're doing it.
True.
Because but the child, most of the children won't come to you and tell you, oh, whatever you're doing is affecting me or something.
Mm-hmm.
They'll
get quiet. So you realize, look, my house just gets real quiet. I can just hear them live partying, and I walk in, everything they just shut it down.
Because you're the third wheel.
Yeah, I'm the third wheel. Hey.
You're the third wheel.
That part, it made me feel something. It used to hurt my feelings. I'm not gonna lie. I used to be like, it's all right. Y'all ganging up on me. It's all good. So I'm the third wheel. You said it. So it's really a sensitive subject. So like you said, the influence that they have from schools, they're talking to each other. We don't really know what they see.
We have to try to put ourselves in their shoes.
Have you ever discussed violence with your children or the oldest one at least?
Actually, I haven't.
Really?
I haven't. But the funniest thing is like few months ago, no, actually last month, they had like a couple of fights in the school.
Oh.
That really affected her. Like,
so they were really bad.
Yeah, like multiple fights in a day.
Wow.
And this is high school. Mm-hmm. And it's really, to me, I'm like, what is going on? What is going on with our youth these days?
Wow. So that's our first time experiencing it.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. All right, y'all. So as you can see, we're getting a little depth into the conversation. We're going to take a quick back break and we'll be right back. And we will return with the other stories that we have. All right, guys, we're back. We're going to continue talking about the subject. We're talking about youth and violence. Bola, you mentioned earlier about the story about the 15-year-old that you encountered. Tell us a little bit more about that. How did it make you feel? How did it really affect you?
Okay, so being my first year as a correction officer, going there, and it was my first time actually going to that unit to go work. Mm-hmm. So, and to me, when I saw it, and when I asked him his age, and he told me, I thought he was lying. And when he showed me his ID, I was like, to me, for a second, it's like as if my heart kind of stopped for like few seconds, and I now thought about it. I'm like, what could have brought this young boy here? What could have, like, what did he do? Because most of them, of course, when you ask them, they won't want to tell you the truth.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But I don't even. It's like I couldn't even bring myself, to that. It's like inwardly, I was crying.
Wow.
But it's like I felt the shock. To me, I'm like, this could have been my brother, could have been my child, or something, and it kind of traumatized me a little. And it made me like I now thought about it. I'm like, okay, if all these little ones, these young ones have been locked up, like what are the parents doing? Where are the parents? So it's like to me, what can we do to help these young ones to stay home, to stay in school, to be out, be off the streets?
Yeah.
To me, like I keep saying, they need like a stable and committed adult in their life. So sometimes I encourage us parents to have meaningful conversations with our children. Sit them down, ask them questions.
Yeah.
These are our children because we don't want them,
to fall by the wayside.
Yeah, by so many things out there.
Yeah.
Like today, actually, I was talking to one of the inmates at work today, and as we were talking, and he was like, "Oh, you have a good life and everything. You don't understand coming to jail first at the age of 12."
12.
Yes. That's his first visit to jail at the age of 12, and he got out and back again at the age of 15. And he's like almost 30. He's still
so he's been there right now since he's been 15 years. Since he's been 15 years
and I was like, how? And he was like, you don't understand when you don't have a stable parents at home.
And guidance.
I was like, actually, that's when I just sat back. I kept shut for like a few minutes.
Wow. There are many ways to try, and they're out there to help. The thing is that society promotes what it wants to promote. There are mentorship programs and stuff like that, but sometimes, you're dealing with people, so sometimes it's just people just don't feel like they have the access, or they don't want to open up to a complete.
Well, I think some of them, it's not that they don't have the access to it, but like I said, some of them, when they're already thinking, where am I going to go back to? So that destructive house.
Yeah.
I can't.
Or they already think that they can't. Their mindset is.
Most of them will go like, when I go back, I'm still gonna hang with the same people I'm hanging. I'm still gonna go.
Because that's what they gotta go back to. Yeah.
Because that's all they know.
That's all they know. Familiarity. Wow. So statistics actually say in 2021 there were approximately 123,000 violent crimes committed by youth ages 12 to 17 in America.
That's a lot.
I'm telling you, but the age 12 to 123,000. And actually, as I was reading, the number actually went down because gang violence is not as big as it was. And it said that homicide is the third leading cause of death for youth ages, beat this, 10 to 24. 10. That's a baby. Wow. To 24.
It is.
You haven't even reached adulthood. No. They reached to the I'm grown stage, but at 22, 23, you're barely sliding into being an actual adult. I want to share something though. We had an incident about, let's see. We had an incident in Conroe. I'm not sure if everybody's familiar with this story, but I was at work. It happened on Thursday, February 8th. So that's what, a week ago? Mm-hmm. 8 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a day of a week.
It says a teen was arrested after he allegedly shot both of his parents at their Conroe, Texas home, killing his father. Montgomery County responded to the home. on Wednesday at the scene, which is when I walked in on the story, it was breaking news. So they didn't have all this information. It said they found a man and a woman who had both been shot. Despite life saving efforts, the man was pronounced dead. He was 41 years old. The woman was taken to the hospital and she underwent surgery and she is expected to survive. So it said, although the teen initially left the scene, officials said he turned himself in at the sheriff's office shortly after. Videos show him walking into the sheriff's office early Thursday morning. Okay, so when I saw the news, they kept showing this teenage boy walking in, 17-year-old. They said they wasn't sure of the relation
that he had with those.
Yes. So I was just thinking, like, wow, they're in the middle of the suburbs. And if you guys are not familiar with Conroe, Texas, it's like it's the suburbs, but it's like the country. It's more like it's a nice area, you know. So you have both parents in the home. We talked about broken homes, and we talked about the parent not being. But you said something. You said the inmate told you having a stable parent.
Yes.
So when the story unfolded, first and foremost, first thing I thought was, I hope that's not his parents. Why would a 17-year-old boy kill two people, right? So later on, they did reveal it was his parents. So apparently, an argument broke out. He had an argument, right, with his parents, and he shot them. Okay, it says it's also unclear where the weapon came from, and there were other siblings in the home, and one of them called 911.
Thank God he did get to hurt those ones.
My Lord, I'm telling you, it was just him, you know.
But I would like to know what could have led to that for him to
pull a weapon
on your own parents.
And I'm not going to say that I don't want to minimize the children's feelings. You know, the problem is that it's so much taught in division that's bled into society. And I keep saying society because when your children leave your home, they are with society.
That's right.
There's so many opinions being made, you know. So their perspective is different. The way they see things are different. And sometimes we have some of us parents that really don't listen.
I don't know, so we get too busy with our own word. We don't pay attention to
or don't have the patience. Because how about the statement, stay in a child's place and be quiet? You know what I mean?
Which is wrong.
I said what I said. Now you shut up. I understand the purpose behind the parents saying that, but there's a way to say it without making the child feel like they don't have a voice to speak out.
I know sometimes I'm guilty.
Yeah.
They're like, why? Because I said so.
Because I said so. Don't ask me again, right? I do it. You know, and sometimes I found myself to have to explain, you know. So I wanted to talk about that because I know that that's a big thing in society. We talked about the last time we talked about the 12-year-old and the 14-year-old that had a shootout with the cops. So I want to briefly go over that. That actually happened in Florida. Okay, so they came from a group home. So they went at home with their parents. They broke into a home and got the weapons. And you can hear the cop on a camera saying, "Ooh, please don't do this. Please don't do this. Please don't make me do this." So they started shooting. So the cops had to shoot. And unfortunately, I think the 14-year-old girl was killed.
Oh my God.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, deep breath. So talk about our youth and violence. So my biggest question is, what can we do besides what we're doing now?
Like I said, we just need to get involved in their lives.
That's it. Not only your children, but
try to mentor the younger ones.
Yeah.
You can, sometimes what I can also say to the young ones that might be watching, if you're feeling stressed, you have depression, because mentally there's so much things going on. If you know you're getting to that point,
Yeah.
find a coach, find a teacher, a parent that you can voice out to.
Yeah. To talk about it.
Don't try to bottle it up so much. Speak to somebody, talk to somebody, and I know surely you will get the help that you desire.
Absolutely. And it doesn't mean, also, I want to add to what she said. If you're young and you're watching this, it doesn't mean that your voice will not be heard. You have to also be willing to be open to receive information or a different perspective or see it a different way. We can't be so stuck on how we feel about something. So, yeah. We got to wrap it up, you guys. So, we're going to talk within this month in regards to youth and violence. I want you guys to please comment. I want you guys, if anything, I want you to comment, like it, share it, get other people's opinions. There's so many of us out there. Hopefully, we'll be able to wrap up that subject, but I think we'll probably touch on it a little bit more next month when we come back. And so you can, like I say, you can always go to our social media platforms. Uniekly Me. You can catch the video on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch the video, share it. I've had many people tell me they did share the video, and I got a lot of feedback. But this time we're talking subject matter. So I do appreciate everybody who's watching the video.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you guys. I'd like to welcome you guys. We also like to thank our cameraman. He's not going to come up here, but thank you, sir. We appreciate your hard work.
Thank you.
So Bola and I are going to wrap everything up, you guys. You guys have a good night. Thank you.